Okay, thank you for purchasing the invisible palm aces. The way this works is you start out with the 4 aces in this order. The ace of clubs, followed by, the ace of hearts, the ace of diamonds, the ace of spades, and then the ace of clubs. Okay, and then you need any indifferent card. If you want, you can use an ace in case you're worried about goofing. Then it's good to have an ace, but I just use an indifferent card because that's never seen anyway. So you're going to start off by showing the 4 aces like this. Now the way this is done is by spreading off 1, spreading off a second, spreading off, then pulling these aside and just pulling back to your thumb as you push forward with your forefinger and then reversing it. And then with this one, you're just going to move your thumb as you hold on to these 2 cards as one. As you push that around. So it's just a pretty flourishy way of showing that you only have 4 cards when you actually have 5. So, once you've done that, you're going to show you've got 4 aces. You're going to flip 1 over, flip 2 over, flip 3 over, and flip 4 over. Now if you've done this right, they're normally not really paying too much attention and they won't see that there's actually a double if you've just flipped over the last thing. Sort of a cleaner way of showing that you still only have 4 aces, which is important for the audience to think. Now what you're going to do is you're going to do a Ascanio spread. Now if you don't know what that is, it's by, it looks like this. This is an Ascanio spread to show that you have 4 cards. But the way that it's going to be used in this context is to just strip out a card and place it in the table. Because by doing an Ascanio spread, it will place a card, 2 cards as one, perfectly flush onto the table, like every time, if you do it right. So the way it's done is by pulling off the bottom card, that's the single, just pulling it out, using just pressure from your forefinger, middle finger and ring finger of your left hand. So you're pulling that card out, and you're letting it rest just past the second joint of your middle finger, and then you're pushing out a card. So it's like that. So you're pulling out a card there, you're pulling out a second card, and you're pulling out a third card from the top. And then you're just jiggling them around. But for this you don't have to do the jiggle, that's just to show that you have 4 cards. So once again, it's pulling from the bottom, pulling another one from the bottom, pulling one from the top, like so. So now it looks like you have 4 cards. Now you can let go of that, that's a double. This here is a double, and you can just let it sit down on the table. It's hard to do slowly, so in fast motion it'll just look like that. As you can see, that is a double and it doesn't spread at all. So one more time, it's pulling the bottom card, pulling the second one from the bottom, and pulling the top card with your thumb. And you can do the jiggle if you want, and then just place down. And you can even show this, you can say, I'm going to place down the ace of spades onto the table, if you feel more comfortable doing it that way. Now you're going to say, I'm going to palm, and you're going to miscall this card. It's always going to be the ace of clubs that you're supposedly palming. You can lift up the top card, and you're the invisible palm. Now this is actually in a different card, but you're going to call it as the ace of clubs. You can look and say, yep, now we're going to palm the ace of clubs. And you're going to place your palm over the card, and from this side, you're just going to drop it. So you're just dropping it as your palm comes over. So in fast motion it looks like that. And it looks like you've got a card in your hand. You can always do the false thing. You're coming over here saying, you know, if I do an invisible palm just right, you can't see it from that side. Can you see it from that side? They'll say no. Then you get, yeah, if I do it perfect, you know, you can't see it from the other side either. Now the lay down. Because you've got a double sitting on the table, all you need to do is come and bring your hand over with the fleshy part to the right hand side of the card and slide it over as you come down. So at speed it just looks like you just come and set a card down. You can literally just sort of put your hand on the card like that and pull across, because at speed it doesn't look like anything, it's just like you set down a card. You flip these 2 over and say that's the 2 black aces. Flip all the 3, you have 3 cards in your left hand now. You flip them all over at once, push over 1 card, and show these pretty fairly, like that. You say you've got the ace of hearts and the ace of diamonds in this hand. Push, you're holding all 3 again now in the grip with your thumb on the back and your middle finger in the front, and you're pushing 1 card to the right. Now when you show, they still see the ace of hearts and the ace of diamonds. As you show that, you flip over the 2 black aces, And now here's a move in order to get the third card, the third ace, the ace of hearts, to meet these two black aces. This is how it's done. You've done the pushover like that, so you can show two aces, and be sure that you're pushing over, pushing to the pushing to the right with your left hand, and you're holding the two cards flush. Show the ace of hearts and the ace of diamonds. Now, as you flip these over, you're gonna palm. It's not even a palm. It's just sort of a push down of this card. You're gonna let this card drop down as you come and cover it with your right hand, and as you spread these two. So at speed, what it's going to look like is it's just going to look like, that was not a very good one at all, but at speed it's going to look like you've come over, you spread those, say they're the two red aces, and these are the two black aces. And I've just stolen that red card. So we'll do that one more time. Spread over, you show, you do the palm as you place them there. Make sure to point there to misdirect them. Pick up these cards. Show the two black aces. Pull underneath. Show them again. Place them flush on the table, being sure to not spread these two. The way that's done is by just pulling the first ace from the bottom out. Now when you place down, you're gripping with your thumb at the back, your middle finger at the front, your forefinger is pushing right in the center of the card, and you're letting go with your thumb and your middle finger at the same time. Letting go with your with your forefinger at the last, like that's the last thing to release pressure of the cards. And if you do that, you'll see that they don't spread at all. So it's there, and they'll only see two cards there, and they see two cards here, which makes sense. Now you're going to do a frustration count to show two red aces here. The way this is done is by flashing the first one, pulling it off the top, and flashing the same ace. But what you're going to do is you're going to miscall it. You're going to say, here's the you're going to want to say, here's the ace of diamonds, here's the ace of hearts. We're going to palm the ace of hearts. Like, oh sorry. You don't want to do it in that order because you want to have a situation where the ace of diamonds ends up in the bottom and they think you're palming the ace of hearts. So what you want to do is you're going to say, there's the ace of diamonds, there's the ace of, sorry, you want to call the ace of hearts first. That's the card you want to call first. So the ace of hearts is there, and you just cover that middle pip and they won't really notice, just flash it quickly. You say, so we've got the ace of hearts, you pull it off the top, which is actually the four of hearts there. So the frustration count, the hearts, pull off the indifferent card, and say the diamonds, then pull out the bottom card and say, we're going to palm the hearts. That's important because at the end of this you want to be able to do that move and show the ace of diamonds in the bottom. If you don't pull the card off the bottom, you're going to flick it and you're going to see a four of hearts and it's going to ruin the whole trick. So, one more time, frustration count. You show this card and you say, that's the ace of hearts,